Salutations, everybody. Welcome in today for this next episode of the Podwans podcast. I am Char, joined by my co-host Luke over here.
How's it going, fellas and ladies and gentlemen, people of all the galaxy?
Last week we finally completed season 3 of the Clone Wars, and now we are finally beginning season 4. And there's going to be a lot of great arcs coming in for this season, and
Yep.
these next this next 2 months are going to be jam packed with a lot of fun and games. So
Oh yeah,
all of you that
absolutely.
are our viewers and fans, just sit tight. There's going to be a lot of the best arcs in Clone Wars coming very quickly, so it's going to be fun. So we're covering today the Mon Cala arc, episodes 1, 2, and 3. Water War,
Gungan attack
Gungan attack, and then
and the
prisoners.
prisoners. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Yep.
those are the
Yep.
3 episodes we'll be covering in the arc. Grab your beverage, grab your snack, grab whatever you have, grab your dog or your I don't know. But sit tight and let's get this going.
You never would have made it as Obi-Wan's Padawan, but you might make it as mine.
And we're back.
Yep.
All right. So the first guest we have coming on for the show today, he's a returning guest. Unfortunately, I wasn't there when he was there first.
Mhm.
So I can't really say that he was a returning guest for me, but Luke can say
Yep.
that on my behalf.
Oh
So
yeah, and we were
may-
guests on his podcast in January.
Yes, from the Cloud City Conversations podcast, we have Brendan.
Hello, people of Mon Cala.
Hey, hey, there you
How you
go.
doing?
There you go. How are you
Man.
doing, Brennan?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Good,
Oh, you
good. The
know,
last time
doing
we
pretty
talked
good.
to you, the Bengals were in the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and we never talked about the
Word.
outcome.
No, no, and
Oh.
unlike Cloud City Conversations, we got to keep it going. So we can't talk a whole bunch about sports, but it was a down situation, but at least you made it,
I just made it. Everyone in
You
the
made
AFC is gonna have a hard time making it now. So
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway,
The second guest. The second guest
but
for today's episode.
where can we follow you, Brendan, on all
Oh,
the
I
social
beat you to
medias?
it.
Oh, you guys can find me at on Instagram at Cloud City Pod. You guys can find Cloud City Conversations wherever you find your podcast, including YouTube. If you guys were interested in visuals, I think you guys can find me at Cloud City Brendan on TikTok now. I recently changed that because I was iffy on the name, so I actually will double check that during the podcast. But yeah, that's where you guys can find me.
Awesome. Thanks for
Perfect.
coming on, man. We appreciate it.
Of course.
This is the second time Luke's been with you. I'm the first, but I mean, hey, I've had interactions with you, and they've all been good. So
There
I'm
you
glad
go.
to have
I'm
you
glad to
on
hear that.
here. Back for Luke, first time for me. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So
Awesome.
our second guest is another returning guest for the Pod Ones podcast. I am kind of having a trouble recalling of the last arc that he was on, but I do remember he has a lot of great takes and a lot of great opinions. May I present Cody at Chattentime.
Oh, stop it. Solo is the best Star Wars movie ever. That's my best take. I'm kidding. I stand by it, though. How are you all? Thanks for having me.
Great.
Good. Thanks for coming on. Cody, where can the good people follow you on the social medias?
At Chattentime on every social I can think of. So TikTok and Twitch mostly, and I snap some pics on Instagram. So
And you recently hit 1,000 followers on Twitch, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. And
Great milestone.
Yeah, thank you. And then I had like a quarter life crisis for some reason on Twitch. Like, we got to start playing something besides Star Wars. And immediately I was like, no, I want to play all the Star Wars. I'm just waiting for Lego Skywalker Saga. So like, I've just been playing
Something
like
new.
Battlefront. Yeah. So like we got, I think like 4 more days, and I
We
got
will
that
be-
baby on pre-order.
We will be streaming that. We
Yeah.
will be playing that a lot on stream. So get ready for that. I think in the Discord server, we're actually going to have like a competition to see who can finish it. Not 100%, but all the way through the entire game.
Yeah.
See who can
Who
finish it
can
first.
complete all the episodes first.
Yeah, who
Okay.
can complete all the episodes first. But
Very
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
absolutely.
And then our third and final guest. This is the first time he is on the Pod Ones podcast. I'm surprised he hasn't been on before, but this marks his debut. We bring in Pat at St.Pat.
St.Pat, how's it going?
It's going good. Excited to be on.
You ready to talk some cala?
Of course, and don't worry, Luke. I'm not gonna be doing any separatist propaganda this time because
thank goodness, because as you know, we are pro Republic here. We do not like those seppies. Sorry, but Cody, you just throw that away. But
Separatists did have some valid points. I'm just saying.
Yeah, towards the end of the war, yeah.
Militarily, they were evil.
Yeah. Now let's head to the chat. Master UV, thanks for coming back. Element 7, Diet in the Force on Saturdays. Go follow their podcast. Him and Darth Choco, they're great. Beth Mara J Skywalker, go follow her on TikTok. She's great. Love having her on. She's a good friend of ours. And then Obi-Sean Kenobi, go follow him. And Brooke is in the chat, so let's get to her stuff real quick. Got to do some branding. If you guys are looking for fantastic merch, Far Away Factory. Is that an old one? Is that an old one or is that the new one? Oh, it got rid of the new one. Okay, but anyway, she's got a Etsy shop. Go follow her on Instagram, TikTok, and go to Far Away Factory. You can find this sweatshirt called the Brotherhood sweatshirt. She's also got Anakin in the 501st walking through the Jedi Temple as a t-shirt. So go check out her stuff, Far Away Factory. We love to plug it. She's actually doing some custom Air Jordan whites for me for celebration, and they're going to be Darth Vader. So,
that's cool.
That's dope. That's cool.
So if you're ever wanting to have anything like customized, anything like that, go check out her factory. But yeah, awesome. Thank you all for joining. But Char, let's get into the first episode.
Before I want to read the plot summary for the first episode, I want to give the live audience the rundown of today's episode. So we'll be covering, because it's a little bit different today, Luke. It's a little bit different.
Yes.
So today we'll be covering, obviously, of course, the Mon Cala arc. But then once that is done, we'll cover a little bit of news. But today begins the second running of the Pod Ones podcast trivia tournament, and today we'll be hosting the qualifier for the bracket. And for those of you playing, and for those of you who just want to have a little bit of fun, we'll be having a Kahoot here that'll be determining the seeds of the bracket. It's a 12-question Kahoot about random different categories of Star Wars, and depending on who gets first through 8th, that will be the seeds of the bracket. So just a friendly reminder for all of you that watch our podcast, expect a lot of trivia competitions in the future. So this marks the beginning for a big outcome coming in May. So
absolutely. So we will be having that live. It'll be a live stream. We'll be going through on the weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend. We will be doing all the matches up until the championship, which will be live at Star Wars Celebration. And the winner. So Darth Choco is our defending champion. And
yes, he won our first Pod Ones trivia tournament. So what's going to happen is, the bracket of 8, whoever wins that bracket of 8 will go on to face Choco at Celebration for the Pod Ones podcast trivia belt. Yes, Luke and I made a WWE style belt for the champion of this tournament. So
I'm ready to fly.
We went a little bit too far for this one, but I mean, hey, I think it is very appropriate.
I'm going to win. I'm gonna be holding that belt.
And
in my
also,
hands.
yes, St.Pat is one of our players.
Dude, it's gonna get very competitive, and this might turn into a league. This could very well turn into a league.
Don't push that thought too far.
What?
Maybe.
Hey, it's possible.
Maybe we'll call like the
maybe do
championship
it.
like the Pod One's premiere. I don't know.
You
Maybe.
guys are gonna need a booby prize shirt saying I was on the Padawans podcast tournament and lost.
Yeah, we might. We might. But Char, let's get into it.
So I just wanted to get that out of the way so you guys have an idea of what to look forward to in this episode. So,
Ooh, real quick, I forgot to ask the question. All right, to all of our panelists, if you could be, and anybody in the chat, if you could be any species in Star Wars, what species would you be and why? Pat?
I'm gonna go saying my go-to answer is Ewok, but thinking about it, it's Nautilin.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Because
Nice.
I've spent a huge amount of my life in the water, around water.
Okay.
And so it's just the best of both worlds, actually being able to swim, survive in the water, breathe in water, and survive the pressures, and also enjoy. And also, who doesn't want to look like Fisto 24/7?
Yep, that's true. That's true.
This
Cody,
is the
your
hardest
choice.
question I've ever been asked.
You can't judge me. What you can, I guess. I'm gonna say Selkath because when I played KOTOR, they just sounded really weird, and I was like, "Oh, dude, that's like." And you got like magic healing stuff, Kolto in the game. I'm like, these guys are fucking awesome fish. I want to be these people. Like,
yeah, you just want to be a human catfish. Yeah,
human,
essentially.
Yeah, I want to be a catfish. Yeah, that's exactly it. But I don't know. They're really cool. I'm not like.
Yeah, we actually covered them a few episodes ago.
No, yeah. It was for the
Pursuit of Peace.
Because
that was the species of assassin that Dooku hired to attack Padme.
Yeah,
And that was the first time it was introduced in canon.
I remember that because he's just like he's hyping. He talks about like how like what was it? How far they'd fallen in like. I remember that, and I was like, oh, that's I guess the Kolto ran out, so that sucks. So yeah,
No,
but
yeah,
I don't know. They're pretty cool.
No, yeah, Brendan, what species?
I'm glad you went to me last because this is a really hard question. I think I'm gonna go with Chiss.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
All right. Everybody on in the chat. Well, Alanis, Sith Faced, go check out her podcast. Me and Char were just recently on it, talking about Clone Wars. Aiden Talk Star Wars Topics is here as well, and so is our good friend Chris.
Hey.
Chris
Char
in the chat.
Char, what would you be? What species would you be?
Well, here's the thing. So because we played a Star Wars RPG not very long ago, and
Yes.
Luke, I think I have an idea of what Luke is because I'm gonna say the same species as was my character that I created.
Okay.
I would want to be a Zabrak. I just love the horns. I love the tattoos. I love this the way they look is just so cool. And that's one of the simple reasons why I love Darth Maul, not because of the cool martial artistry and but it's just this appearance. It's just so
no, yeah,
you can't compare it.
Absolutely. I think everybody in the chat and everybody here, if you know me, you probably know what I'm going to say next. So if you know in the chat, put it in the chat, and I will address this later.
It's a
but
gun.
no, it's not a gun. Real
It'll be
quick,
fitting for this episode.
Oh yeah, Obi-Wan writes Eopi. I would like to be an Eopi. I will leave you to make your own conclusions from these two statements.
Oh my god!
Thank you, Beth. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice.
But Char, let's get to the episode.
Did you say yours, or are you just letting people guess?
No, I'm letting people guess, and I'll reveal it at the end of the show. Bam.
Really?
Stay to the end. Gotta stay to the end, because
Lothcat. I know it.
No.
Wildcat's pretty convincing.
Yeah.
No. He's a porg.
No, yeah, for sure. I give off porg energy. Char?
All right. So to continue on our, daily programming. So the first episode of season 4, Water War, plot summary. Here you go. This is a different microphone, so I am kind of curious how this plot summary reading will sound. All right. Water Wars. Tensions run high on the ocean world of Mon Calamari, where two separate peoples, the aggressive squid-like Quarren and their peaceful neighbor, the Mon Calamari, struggle to maintain a fragile coexistence. Adding to the strife, the king of the Mon Calamari has been found mysteriously murdered, leaving his young son, Prince Lee Cha, to guide his people alone. But the Quarren race will not accept the new ruler as their king.
Sounded pretty good, Char.
Yeah,
Sounded pretty good.
Pretty solid.
So to begin
Harris in
the
the chat,
episode,
give me some leniency, all right?
yeah,
I know you're my
yeah.
biggest critic. You're my biggest critic on that.
He is your biggest
Give
critic.
me some acceptance, all right?
You're absolutely
Anyway,
right.
so yes, we kick off the very first episode of season 4, which is like a whole different vibe to the Clone Wars. It's cool that we finally get some underwater action, because the last time we saw this was, obviously in the 2003 Tartakovsky Clone Wars with the Kit Fisto sequence. We don't really get much of that, but this is it's about time we finally get some underwater battles.
No, yeah, absolutely. So,
And-
no, yeah, go ahead, Char.
Yeah, so the episode is so a lot of you just because the Mon Calamari race obviously are from Mon Cala, but a lot of people don't know that the Quarren live with them symbiotically. Like they're literally a symbiont circle, as what Obi-Wan said in The Phantom Menace. But there's a civil divide between the two, because the Mon Calamari are aligned with the Republic and the Quarren are aligned with the Separatists. So there's a lot of civil distrust going on between the two species. And Prince Lee Char, I mean, I'm not gonna, for those of you who don't know, my name is Char, so I'm gonna just, so I'm gonna say Prince Char, because I feel, some gratitude to myself. So Prince Char is now winning over the Quarren people, because it's kind of like the same position as what Queen Amidala was in The Phantom Menace. In the words of Palpatine, he says that she's young and naive, and that's kind of how they see Princely Char. They see him as a very unexperienced leader, someone who is not ready to fill in that position of the predecessor that was his father. So there's a lot of anger between the Mon Calamari and the Quarren, and a character by the name of Riff Tamson. A lot of you know who Riff Tamson is the first Separatist representative that is actually intimidating. Like, usually we see Nemoidians, we see Sandhill, we see Wat Tambor, we see Shumai, we see Poggle the Lesser, but Riff Tamson is really the only time we are actually kind of scared for someone that is a part of the Separatist, alliance, like in terms of like the negotiation part of it. And this is very interesting too, because this is the first canon appearance of Admiral Akbar in Star Wars in terms of the timeline, not like seen on screen, but this is the first time along the timeline where we see Admiral Akbar. And he's a lot different than what we see in Return of the Jedi. And, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. He's very, very hot-tempered, I would say. In Return of the Jedi, he's very, calm. He's very knowledgeable. He knows what he's doing. But in this, he's a bit different. And I think that's what makes characters very cool, is because when you see their origin story, they're a lot different than what you initially saw them to be in events that take place 30 years, later. So Akbar finally appears, which is a very nice sight to see. And the peace talks between the two abruptly end, and the Jedi Council send reinforcements to help all the conflict that's going on the planet of Mon Cala. So I just wanted to ask you guys, everyone that's a part of our show and in the audience, why do you think Mon Cala is so important to the galaxy? We'll start with Cody.
Oh man. Okay, so my knowledge of Empire at War is going to come into play here. So the location of the planet does not scream, like significant trade routes. I do know, like in the Galactic Civil War, like the planet was important for like the purposes of like shipbuilding for the rebellion. I don't know. Like I was rewatching the episode today, and I kind of just saw as like, okay, they had their like pre-alignments like each side, so the Republic's like, we can't lose this planet. So are you asking me like what the canon answer is, or just my subjective thought?
Subjective thought.
Yeah. Okay, I wanted to make sure. Like, I was like, did I miss a detail already? Like, I'm not a Star Wars
like
fan.
I said earlier, you have great opinions. All right. So I trust everything you're going to say here.
Oh my God. Okay. So they're secretly working for Palpatine on Exegol. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. No.
Yeah. The Quarren or the Sith Eternal.
That is the
Plot
1,000
twist.
ships. It was all built by Admiral Akbar himself. It was a trap. But no, I would say that like, I think that, you see the role that the Mon Calamari play in the Galactic Civil War. I'd say they have great industrial resources. They probably contribute in some capacity to like, probably raw materials to the Kuwait shipyards so that the Republic can continue building their Republic Star Cruisers. Also, they seem to be like logical people, the Mon Calamari. Like they're the peaceful ones. So any chance the Republic from I would say a PR side can keep a system in their side of the war, it's going to look good. So they want to try to like calm things down as much as possible. So to me, it's like resources, and we can't lose another planet to Dooku, or else we're not going to look good.
I feel like that's a good answer.
That's a great answer. You see, I foresaw that.
Yeah. I want to keep Pat for last because I know he's gonna have a little bit of insight into this. So Brendan, same question.
So it's pretty spot on to say that shipbuilding. I also am a big Empire War fan. Shout out to the Rise of Palpatine mod, the best mod out there. Maybe it's a hot take, but it's shipbuilding. It's got to be shipbuilding. Like that is where that's the only thing I can think of that is valuable with Mon Cala. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just Akbar. Maybe they looked ahead in the scripts and saw Akbar was a pivotal role. They're like, we can't lose this.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with ships.
Nice. Pat?
Okay, well, using canon knowledge, the Star Wars nerd is going to say shipbuilding, but the history teacher in me, the first time the history lover in me, the first time I watched this arc, I automatically thought of the Cold War and proxy wars. And so we see both Mon Calamari and Quarry members and senators in the Galactic Senate, both representing their species separately. And so to me, it's not like when I watch this episode, it's not like it's important. It's more like Dooku and Palpatine are trying to bog things down and tie things up. Because if you look at history, anytime a proxy war happened between the USSR and the United States, it messed up all the global geopolitical things. It had a reverbing effect, and I think that's more what the goal was. That if the Mon Calamari and the Quarren were physically having a civil war, then their representatives in the Senate, even if the Quarren like fully pull out and have senators in the Galactic Republic, it's gonna mess up a bunch of deals and politics going on there.
No, yeah. See, Pat is like big into history, and I like the fact that he brought that in because it is very true. Because you get those kinds of vibes, especially with the political side of it. But Shark, push on.
Push forward. All right. Anyway, so then we move to. I'm just going through and okay, there we go. So, and then obviously, when the Jedi come, Dooku is getting contacted by Rip Tamsin, and Dooku is very pleased with Tamsin. I feel like Dooku is never genuinely happy when he's like dealing with any other delegates within the separatist representation. And Tamsin is he said that he will become the one to control Mon Calamari. Or no, Mon Cala. I get that mixed up sometimes. My bad. My mistake. When it is a part of the Separatist Alliance. So they're already planning ahead to who's going to be controlling Mon Cala. And if the Separatists do take it, Tamsin will be in charge. And then Princely Char states that he doesn't believe the Quarren will attack. Like, because, so here's the thing. So I get it. Like, if you're a rookie and you're relatively new at what you're doing, you might have, like, doubts about, like, what other people think about you or what they will do. But, yeah, this takes a whole Uno reverse card on Lee Char. Let's just say that. He did not expect the unexpected. And the prince and the company make it to the front of the battle. Anakin, suggests that he goes back to a safer area because, like I said, he's a new guy in the royal chair of Mon Cala. He wants him to be safe, but like I said, he's young and naive, and he wants to stay in the fight. Which is like, we see a lot of leaders on the front lines. I just want to ask you guys, why do you think that is? Like, I'm not even just like talking about like not even just real life, but like in terms of Star Wars, there's a lot of leaders that want to stay and fight with their people. Let's start with Pat first, since he answered last for the prior question.
Well, Lucas has always said like Star Wars is a grandiose, especially when it comes to the prequels, is a grandiose opera, and it's always that heroic vigor, the heroic aesthetic that is pushed forward, and having the embellished hero on the front lines, or the leader on the front lines with his people, just speaks romanticism of military and war. So that feels like it's right up Lucasfilm's aesthetic for Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good answer. Brendan?
My only idea comes from just real life. It's morale, when you see the person leading you fighting down in the trenches with you, I think that brings some sort of morale to you instead of, that's the only thought I have.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. And that's hence why Akbar talks to the prince and is kind of against what Anakin is saying, because he says, "Hey, these soldiers are looking to you to lead, and if you retreat now, then you look like a coward, basically." So, Cody, your thoughts?
The same. I'm trying to think of like both sides. Like, I think of like Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then I think of like someone like Grievous, like, even though as evil as he is, like, it's like that morale boost. Like, it's like, hey, I'm going to get the job done, and like, I know if I lead, the others can follow well, and we can get the job done. So yeah, I would say morale. And I don't know, maybe Obi-Wan's right in episode 3, like, someone has to be the poster boy. Like, maybe someone likes the attention for 5 minutes, but most of them, I'd say they just want to really get the job done and lead the way.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
I would say a lot of it. Go ahead. No, go ahead. You're our guest.
Let's take video games, for example, like a Battlefront 2. Yeah. The officers have a morale boost, essentially. They're like, officers are supposed to be like the leaders. They give you that morale boost where they shout and just put their hand up, and you get 100 extra health. Yeah, it's a tactical advantage.
Yep. So Anakin with the prince, they end up falling back. They try actually Princely Char says, "Hey, there's a way to get around him." And Anakin's like, "All right, show the way." So him, Akbar, and some others that are following end up trying to cut off the enemy forces. But there's I think it's part of a building that falls off and crushes the system of tubes that they have. Which, by the way, those have to be like they have to push. Like, there's no way that they're moving that fast by swimming. Like, there has to be, like, when you're on a slide, like on a water slide, like they have water going at quick paces. Like, that's how I feel like they're getting through all of those places. I got to be right.
I figured that was assumed.
Yeah,
I would
like a
assume
jet
so.
stream.
Yeah, jet stream. Yeah.
They're Mon-Calling horizontal escalators.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, exactly. There you go. So they have to retreat until the Republic forces arrive. We get the shots of Ahsoka and Kit Fisto arriving with the reinforcements, and this arc and episode are very much inspired by the 2003 Clone Wars episode where Kit Fisto actually goes to Mon Cala.
Sure.
A lot of the aesthetic and the things that happen in this episode are very, very close to what we see in the 2003 Clone Wars, which I thought was interesting. We get a couple of shots of Tansman just going through people. Tamsin just going through people. I was like, okay, so they finally have a menacing guy that looks like a shark. This tracks. I like this.
And he can actually do something too. Like,
oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Usually separatist leaders are just like, do this, do that, but Tamsin's like, wah.
And also,
and he's in the business, man.
No, yeah,
Tamsin is definitely more of a warlord compared to the usual separatist leader of like a capitalist. Like, if you think about it, that's all the separatist leaders are for the most part.
Comparing him to Lot Dodd or it's very it's very different.
I would love to see Griff Tamsin with Newt Gunray together in a meeting.
Oh god,
for the Separatist Council.
Oh my god,
I'm writing that down for my rewrite.
I just imagine Griff Tamsin is like standing like two heads over Newt Gunray, and he has to look down, and Newt Gunray has to look up.
Yeah, for sure. During this fight, Anakin ends up losing his helmet that helps him to breathe, and he's doing a pretty good job at the time. He's like holding his breath, and then he's fighting him off. He does a really, really, really good job, and then you could tell like he's starting to lose air. And I mean, if Snips isn't there right away, I tell you what, we wouldn't have another 6 movies. Ahsoka's able to, gotta thank her. She ends up getting him the helmet back, and I think they have an interesting back and forth. He's like, "Wow, where have you been? It's about time you showed up." And she's like, "All right, here we go." So Anakin directs Ahsoka to basically guard duty. So they go. They try to get back to the I think it's to the headquarters in the Republic, but Tamsin. God, Tamsin. Why did I type it as Tansum? Dumb. Tamsin ends up like trying to attempt Ahsoka and Lee Char. Like he intentionally rams into the tubing, which is hilarious because I was like, okay, your head can't be that strong, but like it was so well done. The Republic ends up winning the first round. The Separatists are retreating to the Coral, but not for long. The Riff ends up getting a nice little supply of what they like to call what are they called? Medusas? I think that's what they're called. And it gets crazy. Here's another question. How do you think you would fare in underwater combat?
Taking that fat L.
Same.
I am scuba certified, but even with that, I'm taking that L.
No, yeah, I feel like it would be a lot more difficult. And like this is this is like one of the only times that we get to see them fight underwater. So it's just interesting to see, especially with the lightsabers, because we see in the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, we see water droplets falling onto Anakin's lightsaber and it fizzes. So it's like, how do lightsabers work underwater? I guess the same as they do outside.
I know there was an explanation for Kit Fisto's in the 2003 Clone Wars that he had like a special blade.
Yes, he had a special blade. Not on the blade, but he was able to keep.
Yeah,
I think it was in his hilt.
No, it was. So his lightsaber had 2 kyber crystals.
Okay,
one that was able to be used on the surface and one underwater. So that was why in the 2003 Clone Wars it looked like the way it was. It looked kind of foggy. Mm-hmm. That's why it, yeah. So that was the reason why it was able to work underwater. But that is, of course, not the canon one. But
yeah. But Cody, how would you fare in water combat?
I am not scuba certified, so I am taking the fattest of all L's. Yeah, and that's my answer.
Pat?
Well, I was on a swim team, plus I am a fencer. But I would be pulling a Jack Sparrow. I would be fighting to run away.
I feel that.
I'll bring the jar of dirt.
Because I would be more confident in my swimming skills than my fencing skills underwater, where momentum would just be able to carry me at a whim.
No, yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure. So obviously the Separatists regroup with their secret jellyfish machines. Tamsin calls out the Quarren leader for being a coward and threatens that he will kill him the next time he does that. And then the episode ends with Akbar assuring the prince that he made the right decision in pulling back and getting everybody out of harm's way, which leads into episode 2, Gungan Attack. Take it away, Char.
That was pretty cool. We said at the same time. All right, so the plot summary for episode 2 of season 4, Gungan Attack. Let's run it back. Let's see if I can top the first one. A government toppled by civil war. Refusing to accept Prince Lee Char as the next ruler of Mon Cala, the Quarren people joined the Separatist Alliance and launched an all-out attack on the Mon Calamari. Caught unprepared, the young prince and his Jedi protectors are quickly overwhelmed and forced to retreat in the caves far below the capital city, leaving Count Dooku and his allies to plan their next move.
Nice job, Char. I'll take this.
Okay.
So we get Dooku. We get Dooku and Tanzan. I don't know why I put Tansam. God, that's irritating. I'm reading it wrong. I'm gonna put En Tanzan. And the head of the Quarren having a meeting, and Dooku warns that if the prince is left alive, it will be the downfall of the Separatists. All slaves in the Quarren asked what they are going to do with all of the prisoners, and Dooku says all the slaves will be put to work, even the women and children. The Quarren leader is starting to think that this was a bad idea. What were your guys' thoughts on the Quarren leader specifically? Quarren leader up until this point, like, he's kind of starting to understand why the Separatists are the bad guys in this war. Any thoughts?
I think Nosarai is essentially just a pawn in all of this. Yes. Like, he's just being manipulated. When any leader of a big organization gets in your ear and starts whispering all these things, like we see it across history, it just, I think he's another victim of this war,
Pat?
Well, so I love Nosarai just because he's one of the few genuine like leaders that we see in the Clone Wars or in Star Wars ever, and seeing him as a leader also kind of makes me look at this perspective of this arc as like a mini micro world for or not micro world example or of the actual Clone Wars of itself, of how everything started, how everything is going on. Because notice right, all he's doing is he's raising valid questions about the rights and the representation of the Quarren people, but then Tamsin and Dooku got in his ears, very much like Dooku and Palpatine did for the leaders of the Separate Senate, who were raising valid question about the Galactic Republic. So it's interesting to look at it that way.
No, yeah, absolutely. Cody, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of echo these two, and I'd also tack on like, I think he, like many other characters who joined the Seppies, were victims in this because they joined for. I think many joined for the right reasons. I think independence, not necessarily in like a bad way. Like they felt the Republic was not maybe looking out for them or was very stagnant in terms of leadership. And so they, like many other systems, probably were like, hey, I think we'll do better as a planetary government, like away from this overarching umbrella of the Republic. And then you see like those like true leaders, like those select few in the Seppies who are like, well, we just want you for your like resources, and we're gonna like take over your planet. Like we're the evil ones, but like you just don't know it. And so he was ultimately a pawn, but he joined for good reasons, I'd say. That's valid. And then he starts realizing, oh crap, what have I done? So
no, yeah, absolutely. So Anakin and the rest of the group are trying to figure out how they are going to get reinforcements. Anakin suggests that they leave the planet, but Prince Lee Char is not he is not convinced that they should do this, and but ultimately gives in when Akbar is giving him suggestions like, well, maybe this is the best thing. We can always regroup. We can always come back. So they decide to go to the ship that's over the sea. Back in the Jedi temple, the Jedi Council decides to send. They're trying to figure out who they should send. Because the Republic is their resources are growing thin, and they decide to get the Gungans to help. And I will ask this question a little bit later. The Jedi and the Republic forces try to make it to the ship, but it's blown up.
It was quite a trap. It was maybe a trap.
Oh
possibly?
It's definitely a trap. Definitely a trap set by Tamsin, for sure. I mean, they know exactly where they're going, and they end up blowing up the ship. But the funny, interesting part about it is that they actually use the ship to get down to the coral, which is good thinking on their point.
My thing about like the whole ship is like, of all the cool vehicles that were made for the clones, they never made aquatic to air vehicles, especially being on Camino. It just never. It's like, so you have all these all-terrain vehicles, except one that would be extremely versatile.
Yeah. That's a good point, Pat. I mean, it's very, very true. I mean, we couldn't. I mean, even looking at the clone troopers' aquatics, like those are ridiculously looking helmets that they wear. But it's just insane. So they end up getting back down to the coral. The whole group decides to split up because splitting up usually is usually the best option. Not in horror movies. Everybody, horror movies, you stay together no matter what. It doesn't matter if there's a killer or whatever. You stay together. But as the Jedi Council is contacting the Gungans, it's not Boss Nass, is it? It's
Boss Leone.
Boss Leone. Yes, Boss Leone. It's so funny because the first conversation's like, oh, we still gotta think about it. And then Jar Jar, of all people, is like, what are we doing here? Like, we gotta help. And
then 2 episodes later, they join the Separatists.
Yeah. What? 10 seconds later.
Jar Jar.
Yeah, Jar Jar. Oh.
Jar Jar is has to be the most charismatic speaker of all Star Wars.
Yes.
Misa propose.
Misa propose. I'm like,
So
that was good.
That was really good.
It's
Encore,
one of those.
encore.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I was about to do Boss Nass, but we'll save that for next time. Anyways.
So here's another question. Do you think the Gungans were a right choice to help? Could they have gotten any other aquatic species to maybe help a little bit more?
Here's my question. Well, here's my question to your question. What other aquatic species in Star Wars were aligned with the Republic at that time? Non-Nautilans, or were they more neutral?
I thought Nautilans were more neutral.
Yeah, it depends on what alliance Gleanselm had with the within the war.
Yeah, that's true.
I
guess maybe that's the only option.
As I say, Manon, we don't. Yeah.
Maybe they didn't want to participate in the war and just wanted to play the Valacord. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Like, that
Valacord. So they're only the only affiliation they have on Wikipedia is the Galactic Empire.
Oh, damn.
God! All right, well that's
so even better.
so yeah, that's the answer we were looking for. So I mean, I guess that's the only option you have. Which is...
Well, I mean, like Manon and the Cellcath, but I don't even think they were like. Besides those two we saw in Clone Wars, I don't know if that part happened yet in the Clone Wars. I think that was season 3, but like,
yeah,
they're the only other aquatic species I can even think of.
Yeah, or the Mon Cala, the Corn, and then the Leansum. Well, what is that? What they're called? Is that what Kit Fisto? My Star Wars
Nautilin.
Nautilin.
So what if they just evacuated their people and just released a bunch of like OPC killers or sand aqua monsters?
There's always a bigger fish.
A whole military of sand aqua monsters. Just like,
oh my god.
There's always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish.
From what I can tell, there's only a few big aquatic species. That's the Gungians, Nautilins, Mon Calamari, and Corn. That's all I could find, really.
My Cellcath be treating dirty right now.
Corn.
Yeah, Cellcath. I just found Cellcath.
Yeah,
but those are like the only time I've ever seen Cellcath in the Star Wars that are canon. They're like criminals.
Yeah,
you gotta rely on something. I'm just saying.
I mean, they are a bit fishy.
What about those aquatic creatures from Resistance? I know they're.
Oh, frick! I love those. I love Resistance.
Those would be good.
That would be great.
But I guess if you're talking prequels, I guess it makes sense that it was the Gungans, because I mean they do have a standing army,
which was the second requirement. Like, and how many standing armies are there in the Star Wars universe? It's hit or miss.
No, that's true.
I just want to know how Jar Jar keeps surviving. Like all these trained warriors, and he's just like still making it. And I'm like, statistically, you should have died ages ago. How are you still alive?
But Misa don't have a bomba.
Misa don't have a bomba.
Yeah.
But
Jar Jar, use the bomba.
But
it's a broken.
Yeah, Pat. It's so interesting. I mean, I just thought about that because it's like they really were the only option.
Yeah.
But the prince, so he ends up seeing like him, Ahsoka, and Kit Fisto and Commander Mo. Can't remember that commander's name, but it was interesting. It popped up in my head, and I wasn't fast enough to type it down. But they see the Corran and Separatist droids floating with Mon Cala prisoners, and the prince can't believe that the Corran would enslave the Mon Cala, and Ahsoka and Kit Fisto say, well, it's not really the Corran who are enslaving them, it's Count Dooku who is doing this all. and you kind of have to keep that in the back of your mind when you talk about the next couple of episodes, because that's when you start to see the wheels turning for Princely Char. And in that same conversation, Princely Char starts to doubt himself, but Ahsoka is encouraging him with words he finds with words. Some leaders use their words to find strength to lead. It's not only with his actions, but with his words, which is very, very, very big for Princely Char, because I mean he does end up being he ends up living quite a long time, even into the Galactic Civil War. So this won't be the last time we see him. Back with Anakin. Nope, go ahead.
Oh, does Princely or at this point Kingly Char, does he die in the comics? I can't remember.
I thought he was just taken to prison.
He was
like,
taken to
I think that's accurate.
Yeah, he was taken to prison, but I believe
Justice for Lee.
Well, I believe that the Rebel Alliance ends up saving him.
God, I hope so.
Wow.
Believe, if I remember correctly.
Chat, correct us.
Yeah, chat, correct us. Anakin, Padme, and the senator from Mon Cala are trying to, and Akbar are trying to figure out how to they take down the sonar radar building. And it obviously is going to help with the incoming reinforcements. So that gets taken down. Back to Princely Char, he shoots his he plays the loud Gorg from Anchorman.
Oh no.
And he's able to rally the prisoners into keeping hope. Which again, remember, Count Dooku said, "Hope is our biggest obstacle. If he's alive, then they have hope. That's the most dangerous thing." And he speaks and he rallies the.
Yeah.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I have bad news.
No, yeah. He doesn't
Princely
survive.
Char. Yeah,
does he die in the Vader comic, or does he die in
No.
the Star Wars comic?
I don't know which one he dies in, but he dies, and he's one of the reasons the Mon Calamari fleet joins the Rebel Alliance. Yeah.
Okay.
His death pushes them to join the Rebel Alliance.
Well, F in the chat. He led for a long time.
Oh,
how do you? Okay, so here's another question. How do you think Princely Char has handled the situation up to this point, as a leader standpoint?
He's doing his best to put everyone like first. Like he's not selfish. He's trying to be there. So as a newbie in that position, he's doing the best anyone could probably expect.
Especially since he was probably groomed to leader during peacetime, and so he's the only experience and has point of view of being a leader in peacetime, and so he's thrust right in the middle of a starting conflict, and is in fact the point of conflict.
Yeah, Pat brought up a really good point there. That actually is, my guy's learning on the job. You know, it's kind of hard to learn how to be a world leader while a war's breaking out. Like, yeah, that's got to be rough.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's trying to do his best, but his best isn't. And that's why he starts to doubt himself, because he doesn't think he's doing a good job at all. And it's really interesting because, you know, we can relate that to real life. Sometimes we don't think we're doing the best job when we are doing the best that we can, and we just need to take a little bit of a load off our own shoulders. So since Anakin was able to destroy the sonar and radar, it gives our Gungans and some of our clones the reinforcements to join in on the fight. The Gungans arriving turning the tide again in the Republic's favor. Tamsin is just a menace again. He is just like, he takes out like 8 or 9 people in one swipe. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's just nuts. He also uses, I'm pretty sure he uses the deployers from what Ventress had in the Clone Wars movie, and we saw the squid
Trident.
Yes,
class?
yes. He
Yeah,
used
Trident
those to
class.
spin and to kind of screw everything up. I mean, he does get a hold of Princely Char. Ahsoka and Fisto end up going up against him. And I mean, like this whole shot is just fantastic. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Nose go.
Pat? Looks like you
No,
lost.
I lost. This it also shows like Tamsin is menacing physically, but there's a big brain in that shark head.
Yes.
Yeah, and so like because when you look first at him, the first thing you do is obviously the physical thing. But if you watching the episodes yesterday and this morning, if you watch him how he speaks and how he's like how casually he just plays chess with the Quarrens and everyone, he's a very smart adversary, and so I like that because I don't think Ventress or Grievous would have thought to use the ships like that.
No, definitely not. So Ahsoka and the Prince are able to escape while Fisto, Skywalker, Padme, and Jar Jar are all captured, including Akbar. And Princely Char at this point is defeated, but Ahsoka reassures him that that it will all work out in the end. Which leads us into episode 3. Char.
Let me take the reins here. All right. So the third and final episode of the Mon Calamari arc, titled "Prisoners." Prisoners. Are you right? Are you ready? I'm not sure if you're ready. Are you ready? I don't know.
Yep.
Tell me if you're ready.
Yeah.
I need at least 3 readies. One,
Ready.
We're ready.
Ready,
cool.
sir.
Got it. Anyway, all right.
All right.
Plot summary. A last gasp of hope. After the assassination of his father and the fall of his kingdom beneath the planetary civil war, Mon Cala Princely Char has gone into hiding with Padawan Ahsoka Tano as his only protector. With his armies captured and friends imprisoned, the situation seems hopeless for the prince. Count Dooku commands his sinister agent, Riff Tamsin, to use any means necessary to bring Prince Lee Char out of hiding, for he knows that hope does remain as long as the prince is alive.
Nice job, Char.
Yeah.
Nice
What
job.
was that? Hey, was that better than the first 2?
I thought it was.
Or was that mid? Was that mid? I don't
You're
think
good.
so.
No, it wasn't.
You're
No,
doing good.
no,
That was very good.
If you say it was
Chef,
mid,
you
you're
get
mid.
chef hands.
Yeah.
Sure.
There you
All right.
go. There you go.
All right.
10 out of
So
10.
this
10.
episode, so the beginning of this episode begins with Riff Tamsin trying to pry answers out of the slaves to figure out where Princely Char is. He believes that they know where he is. Obviously, they're not going to give up the answer too quickly. More or less, they even know where he is. And then the prisoners are put in these very interesting restraints. Electric eels.
Eels, very
They're-
dangerous.
Yep, and that's a line that Kid Fisto says, and it we'll be talking about that line pretty soon. And it's like, yeah, so the prisoners are regular restraints, and then you can see Anakin and Kid Fisto just surrounded by these eels, and you're just like, man, the eels are very, very powerful in Star Wars, in terms of just like making sure you don't do anything stupid. We cut to Princely Char, and he breaks down the history between the Quarren and the Mon Cala to Ahsoka. And it's a very interesting part of the story because you get to see the inner workings of why this conflict arose between the two entities on the same homeworld. And then Tamsin and the Quarren leader report that they haven't been able to gotten the answer out of the prisoners. They don't know where Princely Char is. And you can see the Corn leader realize that he's making a awful mistake. Like he feels so bad, like, because I think he understands that it's not about whether or not who you align with. It's depending on what is just for what you believe in, and enslaving the neighboring species is not just. And then this is just one of the few instances where you see that the Separatist Alliance are not very reliable, or you can't trust them. Because they'll just, once you sign the papers, they will just take control of the entire planet. What's their main intention. And Princely Char and Ahsoka managed to sneak into an enemy prison camp, and to give some prisoners that are in that camp some optimism, and that they should have no fear, and that everything will follow his plan. And Tamsin puts a hole in Padme's helmet to cause it to leak. So like obviously that makes Anakin very nervous. And so that the Jedi would tell him where the prince is, or if they didn't, Padme would drown. I think it is a very menacing method that Tamsin would do, because I mean, obviously, we've already discussed that Tamsin is quite the negotiator, and also he's violent. And it doesn't matter if he'll do whatever it takes to get answers. And I feel like a lot of Separatist leaders aren't really too into like the idea of like, yeah, you better give it to me now, or I'm going to torture this person. But like drowning, like that's like something on a whole new level. Like, I feel like that if I was in Padme's position in that, I would be terrified. I was like, oh no, the water's rising, no. Anyway, and then
I'll pass.
Same.
And then once that happens, the prince rallies with the prisoners and Akbar, and it's revealed that Tamsin was the actual killer of Princely Char's father. He was the culprit behind the assassination attempts, and this triggers something in Princely Char's mind. And I think this is the point in time where he like starts to understand like these guys are not reliable, and you will do anything possible to take them down, because they imprison your species and you will defend it at all costs. And then Tamsin reveals that he's the ruler of Mon Cala, which there's so much tension between this civil dispute. It's just that Tamsin believes in himself so heavily that he has full control of the world. And then we see Jar Jar come help seal Padme's helmet so that, you know, she doesn't obviously drown.
Which I feel is so on point for Gungans that they
Jar
have
Jar.
that ability.
And Jar Jar, the funny thing is Jar Jar saves Padme too.
I'm sorry,
So
after that spit thing, I was just like, I think I'll die here. That's fine. That's just disgusting. Like, I'm sorry.
And the fact that Padme couldn't even finish the sentence.
Yeah.
How did that travel across water? How did it have like that much power through the water? Like that is
because Jar Jar's a
some
Sith
incredible
Lord,
shit.
and I will die by this theory. So,
like that would make complete sense if they were just like above water where it could travel, But like, try spitting underwater; it's just gonna go all over. Your face.
I mean, have you seen how long Gungan necks are?
Yeah.
There's a lot of muscles there.
I don't care how long your neck is, man. You ain't getting to that far.
Brendan, his mindset was, I'll try spitting. That's a good trick. Oh, is he back?
No, you're good. Sorry, I was having technical difficulty, and I guess now Char is too.
I was gonna say both of you did, yeah.
So,
God.
he was at the Jar Jar. He was sealing the helmet, correct?
Oh yeah, that's where we were at.
Okay, yeah. So saving her. So he saves Padme by using a loogie basically to cover up her helmet. So the prince pleads. So Ahsoka and Princely Char get captured. They get brought to the main throne room. And he pleads with Norsuri, right?
No
Norsuri,
Sarai.
Norsuri, to bring the Corrin into the fold. And this is kind of where from the last episode when they were talking about how this was Dooku's doing and not the Corrin. So then Tamsin ends up wanting to publicly execute them. Anakin and Ahsoka have a similar back and forth to what Anakin and Obi-Wan have in Attack of the Clones. What are you doing here? You told me to stay with her. Good job. And then like Anakin to Ahsoka, nice job. Now we're all here. But long and
Got your
behold,
message. We decided to rescue you.
Yep.
Like Padawan,
Good
like
job.
Master.
Yep, like Padawan, like Master for sure. It is passed down. So they end up so the Corrin actually goes behind, I believe it's Akbar, correct? Or it's behind,
Yes.
and the Corrin are like the Corrin people are like, well, the Corrin are with you. Like they're turncoats, which finally the Corrin are on the same page. A battle ensues. All hell breaks loose. But at the end, young Akbar completely just wrecks everybody. Like he is such a badass. So Lee Char ends up shooting. No, yep, go ahead. Go ahead,
sorry.
Pat.
Now we know why he got promoted to Admiral.
Yes, we do know why he. Yep, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, he's been a captain this entire time. I know you've been calling him Admiral Akbar, but he's been captain this entire time.
Yeah, he has been a captain. But now he gets to be admiral after this situation. Lee Char actually blows up Tamsin's head, which is epic, an epic way to end the episode.
Quite brutal.
It is brutal. I think it's like the one time we get to see a head like decapitated. So that was interesting.
Well. Remember Ahsoka and the Mandos?
Oh yeah. Never mind.
I was just like, man,
three.
I'm a kid watching this. This is awesome. Thank you,
episode
Mr.
2
Lucas.
has some beheadings.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's true. Lee Char ends up giving a fantastic speech about how he's going to represent all the people of Mon Cala. And I will leave you with this question: what were your thoughts on the development of Lee Char throughout this arc, into starting from the bottom and him kind of being like, "Hey, this is where we need to go," like, and developing as a leader.
To the point where it makes me very sad that he died in the comics. But they did pretty good. This is a pretty well-developed character over 3 episodes. I mean, they had a limited amount of time for what those 3 episodes are. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah,
probably like a 8 out of 10.
Nice. Cody.
Yeah, I'd say about an 8. It's like one of those where like I really wish we could have gotten more screen time with him, because like, oh man, like now he's the ruler. Like, what's it gonna be like here, and like how involved is he going to be, on the war front? Like, are we gonna see any stories where like maybe he has to send forces to help the Gungans or like some other thing? Like, I don't know. But it's cool with what we got, like to see him develop from almost an adolescent, like I don't know what I'm doing here, to like the chosen one of the Mon Calamari. And so he was good. I liked it.
No, yeah. Pat.
This was definitely like in a 3 episode arc, a coming of age story for Prince Lee Char, and I thought that was great because we don't get many of centered on those outside of any Padawans. So it was a unique look into the Star Wars universe, And I mean, he went from not knowing what to do
I'm back.
to blowing
Welcome
up
back.
Tamsin's head with a dagger. So I feel like that, like as a character, that's a pretty awesome growth.
Yeah, I apologize for my my abrupt leave. I'm using my phone as a hotspot, and my phone died, so I can just basically say my Wi-Fi crashed.
No, you're good. So,
Wi-Fi died.
Char, yeah. You definitely went by. Char, real quick, 3 interesting facts.
Oh, I missed that much. Oh wow.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, to continue. All right. All right. 3 interesting facts about a certain Clone Wars arc that you didn't know about until now. Part 20, the Mon Cala arc. Fact 1, a hilarious connection to Kit Fisto. Kit Fisto's gunship nose art features a cartoon of a bomb with Kit's face on it, and written in Orbesh underneath it that states, "Service with a smile," a reference to Kit's famous grin in Attack of the Clones.
Nice.
Fact 2, a shot of a familiar sight. In Gungan Attack, we see a Jedi cruiser arrive over Mon Cala, revealing that the planet is in a binary star system. Fact 3, a direct connection to Indiana Jones. Kit Fisto's line in the Prisoners episode, "Eels, very dangerous," is a nod to Raiders of the Lost Ark, when Sala says to Indiana Jones, "Asps, very dangerous." And there you have it. Those are the 3 interesting facts about the Mon Cala arc.
Okay.
That's crazy. I didn't know.
I did not. Yeah. Wow.
That's awesome.
Wait, he says what in Indiana Jones?
Asps, very dangerous. ASPS. That was like the
When-
venomous snake.
When they open that tomb up, and they seal
the very
six, he's
beginning
like,
of the movie.
He's like, us, very dangerous. You
Yeah,
go
and
first.
also there's also a bunch of different facts I wanted to put in here that I couldn't. The way that Tamsin gets killed by Princely Char is very reminiscent of what happens in Jaws. Spoilers. Martin Brody, does some things. And so yeah, the way he Asp. Well, no, it's I believe it's a fictional snake.
Okay,
Like if you look
Asp
at ASPS
in-
Indiana Jones, it'll pull up to like an Indiana Jones wiki. So
it is referred to as one of several venomous snakes found in the Nile region. They're an actual thing. Like
okay, yeah.
So it's
I
like
wasn't too sure if they were actually real because I know you, Brendan. You actually are familiar with the.
I would say I'm more familiar with snakes than anyone listening or in this at all.
Yeah, you're very familiar with snakes.
Yeah,
and it's great. So in about 5 minutes or so, we'll be beginning of our Podwans podcast trivia tournament qualifier Kahoot. So for those of you who want to hop in, I'm going to pull up the Kahoot right now. Luke, do you want me to go ahead and pull it up?
Yeah. We're
And
gonna
then
do
just cut the audio.
Rankings.
The rankings first. Okay.
Rankings first. Episode rankings, arc rankings. Youngling bad, Padawan okay, Jedi Knight good, Jedi Master great, Grandmaster chef's kiss. Pat, what would be your ranking of this episode?
Jedi Master, because these 3 episodes are the ones of the Clone Wars I watch the most often on repeat, and I've used it in a lesson plan talking about the Cold War.
And especially with, didn't you say you wanted to be a Nautilin for a species?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense with Kit Fisto and everything. So it's like, it's also one of the very few instances where everyone's like, holy crap, Kit Fisto is a really badass Jedi.
I've always loved Kit. I remember getting so excited when I got the little Jedi Knight themed Magic 8 Balls from Burger King when Revenge of the Sith came out.
Yeah. Cody, where do you give just rank this episode or this arc?
Okay, so if I said Grandmaster because of shirtless Kit, who here agrees with me or judges me?
Ooh, that just pushed me over to
I will.
Okay, I'm just like
I was already Jedi Master, but now I'm Grandmaster.
Yeah,
you're a salesman, my friend.
I try. No, it really was Jedi Master for me at first, and no, the shirtless kit didn't push it to Grandmaster for me officially.
I wasn't joking.
But
But
no,
that's a compelling reason, though.
No, it's funny. So like, I don't know why. Like as I was younger, I hated like Waterworld, like anything, like in shows, in like my favorite video games. Like I played Star Fox. You had a Waterworld. I was like, frick this game. I hate it. And so like, I don't want to play that level. But then something like as I got older, I really like watched that art, and in sort of echoing like, you know, what you had said, Pat, it's like one of my favorite arcs in Clone Wars to go back to and watch. You get a lot of growth, you get a lot of like really cool divide, but you also like, again, going back to like the separatists and why the Corrin joined, like you kind of get a sense that's like, oh, they're not bad people. Like I remember, what was it, the first episode, like they called them the aggressive Corrin. I'm like, well, they're not really aggressive. Like they just have a different way. Exactly, they're misinformed. And I think that like to an extent, like they also just want proper leadership. They want to be led with their best interest in mind as well. So I don't know, it's one of those episodes that to me, I sit and it's like, yeah, face value, it's fun, but let's look at it at a deeper level and analyze what makes this cool and how we can reflect some of this back to like real life. And like, Pat, you taught me so much about history tonight. So like, it was just a lot of cool things with this arc. So Grandmaster, shirtless kit.
It's also one of the few episodes where Anakin is rational. I solely believe it's only because Padme is there.
Oh, dude. Well, and I think too, like from a growth standpoint, you do see Anakin like lead at the helm. Like to me, I almost saw him and Kit as like equals to an extent, and that shows you how much Anakin's grown as not a master officially, but as supervisor type of role, like to Ahsoka as a general and so on. So yeah, I thought it was good.
Brendan, your ranking?
I love this episode. I love this arc so much. Like similar to Pat, this is an episode arc that I remember it always being available because I had it. It was one of the few episodes that this is back in a time where we had to record the shows we wanted to watch. This is for like streaming, and this is the one I would just go back to as a kid and go watch and start. And season 4 is like maybe my favorite season of Clone Wars. So yeah, this is something I always came back to. I love the development of Char, shirtless Kit, Ahsoka's here, Anakin's here, Jar Jar's here. Like, what's not to love about this arc? And then you throw Akbar in there, and with a menacing villain, you can't. I don't think there's a lot of like episodes even prior to this that can compete. But it's Grandmaster, Chef's kiss.
Yeah, I'm gonna bump mine up to Grandmaster too, since we're all so it's all for Grandmaster.
Nice.
Oh wow. I'm gonna have to give it a Jedi Master. It was great. I liked a lot of the things in here, but it's not on the same level as like Mortis, Umbara, or Citadel or anything like that. So
Citadel Umbara coming later in this next few episodes of the Pop Ones podcast.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Yeah.
Char, your ranking of the episode?
This arc was one of my most memorable arcs. But don't get me wrong, this is like not my favorite. So don't penalize me when I say this. I'm giving this a Jedi Knight. I think the story that's being told is very cool. I love the use of Admiral Akbar and Mon Cala as a planet, and like the whole how the life in that planet operates, and how they're so disconnected with each other, and how they both are from the same world but they align with different sides. The concept is really cool. It just it wasn't for me. But I do give it a Jedi Knight, which is it's not that's still pretty good. Like literally on the thing, it's a Jedi Knight is good. So don't be discouraged, Mon Cala fans out there.
This might be a hot take, but Luke, I saw you mention the Mortis arc. I like this better than the Mortis arc. I will be completely honest.
I like this better than the Citadel, to be honest.
The Citadel just makes me sad. Echo is one of my all-time favorite characters, and
it's good. It's great for introducing Tarkin and But other than that, I don't remember much about the Citadel.
I like the Citadel because it's your first canon reference of Old Republic, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
When Saucy Tin says, "We've not had battles like this since the Old Republic," and Plo Koon's like, "Good hunting," and I'm like, did he just reference the Old Republic? Like, this is amazing. So, I love Citadel. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I do too. But yeah. Char, it's Kahoot time.
It is time. Okay. So the contestants that are in here, I know Pat's already with us here. I see Element in the chat. I see Harith in the chat. I saw I believe I see David in the chat. I don't know if everyone is still here. But for those of you who are playing, go ahead and type in the chat. We will load up the Kahoot very, very shortly. All right. So let me get on a scale of 1 to 10. How excited are you guys?
10.
Good.
I need this belt.
42.
All right. So for those of you who are playing in the tournament, after the game is over, let me know what your score is, so I can like determine like who got first and like so forth. So I want to make sure that all the seedings are in order and properly done. All right. Share screen. All right.
You sharing?
1 second. All right, cool.
Hold on.
Am I playing? I don't know. I'm kind of learning.
Okay.
If I'm allowed to, I would love to. Yeah.
Yeah, anybody in the chat can.
Okay, cool. I didn't want to just assume.
All right.
Okay. There we
There we
go.
go.
Okay.
Let's get this.
As you guys can see, the pin on the top is 4073932. This is going to be a 12-question Kahoot. This is going to be covering different categories of all of Star Wars, and I'm excited to see how all of you guys do. There's going to be a little bit of tough questions, some easy, some in the middle, but yeah, I'm excited to see how you guys do. So we got St.Pat, we got David, we got Element, we got Cloud City, we got Brandon. Or Brendan, I'm sorry.
If I had $1 for every time I've been called Brandon, man.
Yeah, Cody. I don't know who's General Cannoli.
I don't know. It's so funny. I'm sorry.
Bucky. Basically, Bucky's in here. Hello. Corellia Coffee Works. Hello, Hannah. Or is it Hannah or Haley?
Haley.
I get it. Haley. Okay.
Hey.
I get it mixed up sometimes. Hey, cut me some slack, okay? I'm sorry, Haley. My bad. The funny thing is, my sister's name is Haley, so I whatever. Old Smoothie. All right, that's a reference to Lando trying to kiss Leia's hand. We see Harith in the chat, another competitor. We have Ven Skywalker. How you doing? I'm just waiting to see if we have gotten all of our competitors in here to make sure that Zany Griffin 74. All right. So in the chat, go ahead and message who you are. Like I'm talking about like for specifically for tournament players. I see David's in here, Xanatos 1138. I see Element 7 is in here. I see Pat's in here. I see. I'm assuming Chris is in here as well.
Mandalorian is in here.
Is she? Who is she? What's her name?
Mandalorian. Put your name in the what your guys' names are.
Must you really wonder what my name is? I'm
He's
assuming
Old
your name is
Smoothie.
Old Smoothie. Yeah.
Okay. Ginger Sarah Plants is high on.
Mandalorian.
Okay, all right. There we go.
So okay. So I'm just trying to go have a little rundown of everyone. So we have Mads Jedi. I think Mads Jedi is here. Xanatos 1138. I can see him in there. Bucky's in here. Pat's in here, of course. Chris is here. Pep's here. Kier's here. Harith is here. Mads Jedi, if you are here, go ahead and say hello because as of right now, I'm not You're the only one that I'm not sure if it's in the Kahoot or not.
All right. If
Maybe
they
their
are,
journal can only-
if they aren't in the Kahoot, we've got one extra player.
If she doesn't
Okay.
respond by 8:40, we'll move it.
But anyway, so for those that are going to Star Wars Celebration, we will be. I think 3 of us here on screen are going to be. Well, 3 of us. Yeah, 3.
Luke and I will be
no,
there.
4 of us. Yeah, 4 of
I
us
will
will
also
be
be
there. So if anybody in the chat is going to Star Wars Celebration, we will have to do a meetup. It'll be awesome. Char, let's run this. If they aren't here,
Okay.
they aren't here. And I know exactly who to give it to.
Matt's Jedi is not here. Okay. It is all good. We will make amends to this. All right. So are you guys ready?
Let's do this thing.
12 questions.
This is where
Let's see how you do. 3,
This is where the fun
2,
begins.
1. Fulcrum. Who's Fulcrum?
Oh, that's
Oh.
my girlfriend.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, that's.
Is she watching?
Yeah, she's watching. That's Taylor. So, yep.
Okay.
Just in time, Fulcrum.
First question. How long did Padme Amidala say she was fighting to stop the Military Creation Act in Attack of the Clones? Is it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Let's see how people in our audience do and the competitors.
I guess. I completely guess. I have no
Dude,
idea.
I got nothing. Oh, dude, that's terrible.
Answer is 1 year.
What?
1 year. Only 3 people got it right. Let's see who got it right. Bucky, Haley, and David. Well done. Well done. All right, move on to question number 2. In how many films does the character Luke Skywalker appear?
Bum, 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 bum,
Is it
bum,
5,
Easiest question. I just had to think
7,
about it.
or 8?
We can't have the music. So there we go. 7.
It is
8.
the correct answer is 7. 8 out of the 17 players got it correct. And let's see the leaderboard shift. We see Cody moving up in the leaderboard. We see Cloud City. So our top 5 right now is Bucky first, Cody, Haley, David, and Brendan. Very well done.
Who forgot Revenge of the Sith?
Question 3. What is the last line of dialogue said by Leia in The Last Jedi? Is it, I felt it too. We have everything we need. What are you waiting for? Follow him. Or Chewie. Let's see if a lot of people got it right. Very nice.
There you go.
Answer is we have everything we need.
There you go.
Let's see the leaderboard shift. We see Cody moving up to first. Oh, look at you. Look at you, Cody.
Snapple.
Thank you, Cody. All right. True or false? Question 4. In Solo, a Star Wars story, Beckett manages to convince Lando to join their job in exchange for 30% of the profit. True or false? I'm excited to see how many people get it right. It is false.
No.
The correct answer is false. Lando accepts 25% of the profits, not 30. So
It's been a minute since I've seen Solo.
yeah. Wait, Cody, did you say that?
Did I say no? That's like my favorite Star Wars movie, man.
Oh, I was like, wait, I thought you just,
No.
you just mentioned Solo earlier. I
No,
was
no,
like,
no,
wait,
man.
No, that was
No.
me.
Another
yes.
thing.
Oh, big
Yeah.
shifts in
Ooh.
the leaderboard. We see Cody maintain at first. We see Haley go to second, David third, Brooke fourth, and Chris fifth. Lots of shifts in the leaderboard. I like to see this. Question 5. In The Mandalorian Season 1, how many Jawas does Mando disintegrate while they are scrapping the Razor Crest?
Ooh, this is a good question, Jar.
Yeah, and this is giving you just like a little hint of what to expect from the tournament too, because we're going to be covering all 9 films. We're going to be covering the 6 TV shows. We're going to be covering Book of Boba, Mando, Rebels, Clone Wars, Resistance, Bad Batch. Depending on the time of, obviously with this change in the release date of Kenobi, the Kenobi questions may be a part of the championship match, since we plan on hosting the championship during Celebration. So this changes a lot of things. So wow, a big shift.
Wow, David.
Cody, you sank to the bottom of Mon
Dude,
Cala.
I thought that last Jawa got away, man. What the hell?
You sank to the bottom of Mon Cala right there. We see David in first, Haley second, Brooke third, Harith fourth, and Alanis fifth. Wow, well done, guys. Well done. Quiz. In The Force Awakens, when Rey meets BB-8, she tells him to stay away from what in the north? Is it the Sinking Fields, Kelvin Ridge, the Gozan Badlands, or Carbon Ridge? Wow, a lot of you got it. Very well done. It was the Sinking Fields.
Man, look at these numbers.
You know what the odd thing is, Luke? I have never seen, other than at the beginning of the game, I haven't seen Element get on the leaderboard once. Element, what's going on, man? Not to call you out or anything, but like... Anyways, question 7. What is the first line Luke says to Leia in A New Hope? Is it, I'm Luke Skywalker, I'm here to rescue you? Huh? Oh, uniform. Ah, the princess. I've got your R2 unit. Not to call you out, Element 7, but like, I think you're one of the most knowledgeable Star Wars guys here, so I was kind of...
Oh yeah, he's kind of a lore master.
Yeah.
Coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, Haley's in first.
Xanatos fell off.
Haley moves first, Brooke second, Hera third, Alanis fourth, and Cody moves to fifth.
Yep.
Cody, you're back up.
I'm
You
taking
rose from the sinking fields. In the Battle of Hoth, the snow speeders fly in what attack formation? Is it Alpha, Luke, a Beta,
frick, I messed up.
Omega, or Delta?
Whoa.
Luke, we all know you're a Beta. Come on.
Just keep going.
I messed up. Dang it.
3,
No.
2, 1. Answers in, and the answer is Delta. Very well done, guys.
Wow.
Oh man, I
Very
was
well
worried. I really thought Alpha for a second.
Brooke comes first.
Oh wow, look at that.
Everyone on the leaderboard is relatively the same. Just a shift with Brooke. Well done. Question 9 out of 12. What is the name of this character from Star Wars
Ooh,
Resistance?
Here we go.
Is it Commander Pyre?
No.
Yes!
Major Von Reg, or Captain Cardinal?
I think I know this one. I may be
If
totally
you've seen
wrong.
Resistance, this should be a piece of cake. If you have not,
I
this
promise I've seen Resistance, and I knew it
Oh
was
my
Major
God.
Bonner, but Captain Cardinal spoke
I-
too fast.
I love Resistance so much. It needs to be talked about more.
I really thought that was. Oh my god.
The correct answer is Major Von Reg. 8 out of the, was it 17 answers? Got it right? Wow.
I literally love Resistance.
We see Carter move up to 5th, Corellia Coffee Works 4th, Alanis 3rd, Harith 2nd, and Brooke 1st. Wow, Brooke has an 8-answer streak. She's only missed 1 question. In Rogue One, Cassian Andor exclaims that he has been in the rebellion since what age?
This is a good one. This is a
Is it
very
4?
good one.
Is it 5, 6, or 7? The answer is blue, 6. Well done.
I know my separatist boy.
Oh man, that's good.
All right. 11 out of 12. In Revenge of the Sith, what is Obi-Wan's call sign during the space battle over Coruscant? Is it Red 1, Blue Leader, Red Leader, or Blue 1?
Oh, I don't know.
Let's see if everyone gets this.
Seems like everybody's in. Yep,
4.
it is
I
Red
got
Leader.
It, right.
It is Red Leader. Yeah.
Because-
Red Leader. Red Leader, do you copy?
Because Anakin's also Gold Leader. It's a nice Easter egg and callback to the original trilogy.
Yes, the answer is Red Leader. Let's see the shifts.
Pat, I'm climbing behind you.
Easy.
1 point, buddy.
And Cody,
1 point,
back
Pat.
on the leaderboard. Wow, well done, guys.
Wow.
looking at these top 5 scores, man, it's real close.
Yeah, it
It
is.
could go any
They're all
direction.
within
Absolutely is.
170.
Oh my
They're all
God.
within 200 points from each other. So
Oh
that's
my
like an
God.
easy one question, get it right, move on. So we move to the 12th and final question of this Kahoot, which is, how many characters lose an appendage in The Empire Strikes Back?
Ooh.
How many characters lose an appendage in The Empire Strikes Back? Is it 1, 2,
Of course, it comes
3,
down to
or
an
4?
empire.
Oh man.
The answer is 3. Answer is 3. We have Luke, we have the Wampa, and we have C-3PO.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh, I forgot about the Wampa. Is that a
I miscounted.
Dude.
I miscounted. I added.
Oh my God.
So now I'm excited to see the top 5
I
here.
didn't think of
So
I added. Oh.
so Char, pull up the
Oh, this is gonna be
rankings.
embarrassing.
Man,
So unfortunately,
embarrassing.
so unfortunately, Madge Jedi was not able to show up. So Car2D2 will be taking.
Yeah,
that
Car2D2 will
spot.
be the replacement for Matt's Jedi.
Yes.
I'm excited because, even though she couldn't come, unfortunately, we do have a replacement. So that's as good. This is very good. And also, he is another person that will be attending Celebration. So that was the main focus group of people that I wanted to get because, depending on the brackets, it'll all end up at Celebration. So,
all right. So
I'm excited
with
with the division of this answer. I'm excited to see if there was any big shifts in the leaderboard. So, all right, let's click next and let's find out. Third place, 10 out of 12, we get Alanis. Number 2, we get Harith. First place, each got 10 out of 10 out of 12. Is Brooke.
Wow.
Well done, Brooke.
Wow,
well
congratulations.
done.
So
all right, so for those of you who are in the tournament, screenshot your score and send it to me via Discord. DM it to me on Discord.
DM it to me or Char in Discord, and we will look over the top the rankings, and then we will put out in our Discord server and in the Celebration server what you guys what the rankings are. Congrats to Brooke. Next trivia tournament. Honestly, I'm surprised she's not even in the trivia tournament, to be honest with you. But
let's see. 17% got the Padme one. I was thinking that one was maybe a bit easy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking out of my ass. But wow, that was only 2 questions that people really had a tough time on. Man, you guys are smart. Everyone that was playing is very, very a very smart Star Wars fan.
I don't feel like a smart Star Wars fan now. I thought I was.
There is no criteria of being a
I
Star Wars fan. All right?
I would have stayed in third place if I added a person instead of subtracting.
Yeah. So once again, screenshot your score and send it to me. I know that Harith placed second. He will be the number one seed ranked in the tournament bracket, and whoever got last will face off against Harith in the first round. So 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5, and so forth. Typical bracket. All right. So yeah, just send those scores to me, and I will organize the bracket. Hope you guys all had a very fun time with the Kahoot. Enjoyed some little friendly competition between everyone, and yeah.
Always love a good trivia.
I appreciate you guys all having fun and playing.
Yep. And now it's time for Star Wars news.
All right, Luke. Let's see what we got on the news today.
So everybody knows that we got a little announcement today that Kenobi will be put. The premiere of the Kenobi show will be pushed back 2 days to May 27th. Everybody is losing their damn minds. Me, on the other hand, I am loving it because we, with it being originally planned, Char was not going to be able to do the reaction.
Yeah, I mean, like Luke, this is like a miracle, sent down. Now we get to react to 2.
Now we get to react to not only 1 episode but 2 episodes. Everybody in the panel, what were your guys' thoughts?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm okay with getting 2 episodes 2 days late. Yeah, it's still like we would get that second episode 5 days later, so we'd have to wait 5 more days for that second episode. I see this as an absolute win.
Agreed.
I agree.
And this I love it because in the celebration chat that we have going on Discord, we were talking about how this just makes it more likely that a Kenobi panel and a watch along is going to happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh, yeah.
Like for some, I've been at the celebration for one day at Chicago. Like that's my hometown, and I went there, and like they have a bunch of stuff going on. Like I know that they revealed a lot of stuff from new and old. But I feel like since they moved it during celebration, there's a very big possibility that there will be a live reaction to maybe just the first or even both episodes of Kenobi, which I think that panel would go absolutely bananas.
Which is probably why they haven't released the schedule yet, because they're trying.
Only thing that they've released so far is guests that will be appearing. They'll be talking. You can get photo ops of them. Signings and whatnot. But we've only gotten like a little bit of a little taste of who we're going to see coming. Obviously, we're most likely going to see Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen as the the 2 main cast members of Kenobi. We will probably be seeing Pedro Pascal. I don't know, maybe because the last time a celebration happened, The Mandalorian hadn't even released yet. So there's a lot to cover at this upcoming celebration, and this Kenobi show is going to the traction it's going to get. It's going to be
It's going to be wild, especially since it's the anniversary of Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the 20th anniversary. And the funny thing was, too, the last celebration was the 20th anniversary of The Phantom Menace. So it's been a 3-year gap since the last time we had a celebration. So
Also talking about Kenobi, Hayden was asked about Vader and how much he enjoyed doing the role. He was quoted as saying it was an honor. He loved getting back into the character, and seeing Ewan as Obi-Wan was something that he'll remember for a very, very long time. This is going to be a great thing for him, and I can't wait for the show. I've been saying it all the time. It's gonna be great. And I get to experience it for the first time with all of my friends at Celebration.
I know, and me now.
And Char.
Because I remember you planning for a straight 2 weeks, where we should do where you should do the watch along, but then all of a sudden the shift change, and now we can watch together. That's incredible. I mean, it's also it's kind of in my perspective, it's a blessing because we get 2, and also I get to react to it with you. To some, it may seem like a bad thing because we'll be getting 2 out of the 6 episodes right off the bat. But at the same time, I talked about this with Luke earlier. With it cutting a week, what does this mean for the Bad Batch?
And Andor.
I thought about that because it said that the Bad Batch will be releasing sometime in the summer, but I'm like, what if they cut a week from the Kenobi show so that we can get prepared for the Bad Batch season 2? I'm like, maybe that's a possibility. But at the same time, it's like we have no idea when the exact release date of the season 2 of Bad Batch is going to be. I think that it'll be sometime in mid-July, potentially, because I feel like the Kenobi show will end at the beginning of the July or beginning of July.
Probably.
Because think about it, there'll be 2 episodes at the very end of May, and then every week there's 4, and there's 4 weeks in a month. So I don't know. I was just doing some, I'm very good with calculation.
So it's going to be a fun time. Kenobi's coming out the 27th. Hayden's happy for it. I'm really looking forward to this. Also in the Obi-Wan Kenobi realm, Brotherhood excerpt was released today. Did everybody get a chance to read it?
No,
I didn't.
I didn't even know that guy.
Great. It's Brotherhood. It's a book taking place
Oh,
in the
okay,
6-month period before the first season of the Clone Wars, and the Clone Wars movie. So, but yeah. It basically is Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan talking to Ventress, and it's just a fun little back and forth. Can't wait to get my hands on this. Del Rey, if you're watching this Brawlback, give us a copy for the love of God, please.
Move it.
We
Move it
need
now.
it. We need it now.
Luke and I's most
Yeah.
anticipated
Find
book
this into
within
my
these next
collection.
few months is going to be Brotherhood.
Well, Brotherhood and
Mm.
Shadows of the Sith.
Yeah, that
Oh,
too.
yeah.
But Luke, I know how
Brotherhood.
much you and I would love to read Brotherhood.
Oh, yeah.
Shadow
As
of the-
soon as that copy gets done.
Also,
Shadows.
on the books, Queen's Hope, pre-order it. You won't regret it. It's one of the best books, Star Wars books written out there. I promise you will never. It slaps. It's one of the best. It's the ending of the Queen's trilogy. It made me. I've already read it. It's full of a lot of emotional times. It releases on Tuesday, so be on the lookout for that. So go get that.
Are they selling paperbacks yet, or pre-ordering paperback? Because I have the other two Queens in paperback. I can't disrupt the trilogy.
Yep. So, but yeah, Brotherhood, Queen's Hope, get everything. It's gonna be awesome. And then finally, and that's it. That's it for the show. Thank you everybody in the chat for coming. Element, Escape Reality Films, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Bedazzler, Harith, Ginger Snap, or Ginger Sare Plants. I don't know. Here, Mandalorian, Corellia Coffee Works, Element again. We really appreciate Taylor. Chatten's girlfriend. Thank you for joining. Hit that like, comment, subscribe button. Deploy the likes before you leave. That would help us a ton. We'd appreciate it. To my guest, Brendan, where can the good people follow you on social media?
You can find me at Cloud City Pod on Instagram. You guys can find my podcast, Cloud City Conversations, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcasts, including YouTube. And you guys can find me at Cloud City Brendan on TikTok.
There you go. Cody, Chattentime, where can the good people follow you on the social medias?
Instagram, TikTok for your General Grievous memes, and Twitch. We stream Wednesdays and Sundays at 6 p.m. Can't make it, just lurk. We're working on partner. We hit 1,000 now, so stop by and
congratulations on the 1,000. That's an accomplishment.
Thank you. I appreciate
that.
And
everybody give him a round of applause. We appreciate that. That's awesome.
No.
That's awesome.
No, you can don't clap. Just say Solo's the best Star Wars. I'm kidding. Again, I'm kidding. No,
top 5.
But no, it's
it
fun.
It goes my top 5.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. So yeah, but that's where you can find me.
Pat, where can the good people follow you on the social medias?
I am on the Cloudcap TikTok at St.Pat of Starfleet. That's st.pat_ of Starfleet, all one word. And I just reached 800 followers on
there
TikTok.
You go.
So
there you go.
Congrats.
Close. And when I get to 1,000, I'm going to do a drawing of all my followers and make them a fandom-based profile pic of anyone they want.
Don't sleep on these.
That's awesome.
He did the artwork for our podcast, believe it or not.
The artwork behind you, he did the banner, he did our profile pics, he did
Hold on.
Good
everything.
Job, Good job.
Thank you.
Pat is a very talented artist.
I also did my virtual background over here.
Wow.
Oh, that was you? That was you?
Yeah, I did the.
Oh.
It's an orbital map of Tatooine, and it's the half Jedi, half Empire, half light, half dark side for Anakin.
Oh, that is cool.
That's
awesome.
Good
That's
job.
Awesome. Char, where can the good people follow you on the social medias?
Good people, you can find me on TikTok at CharCharJ, as listed right here. And you can find me here every Thursday night to cover our Clone Wars rewatch on the Podwans podcast. And that's where you can find me. Luke, I pass the baton to you.
Good people, you can follow me at the Pod Ones Podcast on TikTok, Pod Ones Pod on Instagram, and Pod Ones Podcast on Twitter. We are so darn close to 200. If you know people that like Star Wars, they love the Clone Wars, they just love talking Star Wars, send them our way. I want to try to get to 250 by beginning of Kenobi and by Celebration. So let's try to make that happen. Like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate you. And for Light and for Life, we are all the Republic.
And may the Force be with you always. Take care, guys.